Hey, greetings everyone. I was asked to put together a quick tutorial on the new feature in Canvas that allows you to submit your final grades. As you can see, I'm in my Canvas IT 105 class right here. And the very first thing that you need to do is make sure that you have a grading scheme selected for your class. And the way you do that is to go down to Settings. And once in Settings, you slide down to Grading Scheme. And you're going to select Enable Course Grading Scheme there. And then hit the drop down. And you can see that the distance learning folks have put together a grading scheme for us. So select the Sierra grading scheme, update course details. Now, if for some reason you don't or haven't set your scheme and try to go in and enter your final grades in Canvas, you'll get this error message. So always remember, for each class, you need to go down to the settings and set the grading scheme for that class. So the next thing you're going to want to do is go into your grades and make sure that all of your grades have been entered for all students for the semester. So make sure you go through and make sure that you don't have any assignments that have not been graded, okay? Now that all my grades have been entered, you need to take one final step before you actually go in and actually enter the final grades. And that is going through and saying if you have any students that have a failing grade. If you remember, when you enter those F grades into Banner, you need to have the last attended date in order to be able to put that into Banner. And this system will ask you for that information as well when you go to submit your grades. So for each student that has a failing grade, and you'll see that I've got a couple here, I'm going to need to go in and actually get the dates that they last attended. If it's an online class, generally I use the last logged in date that Canvas will show you for that student. You can get that information by clicking on the student name over on the left hand side, and it will pull up a pop-up and it'll tell you when the student logged in last. And that's the date that I use to put in for the final grade submission. All right, so I've got all of my grades in. I've noted the last attended dates here. So I'm ready to go back to my main screen. And on your main screen, you just scroll down and you'll see a new item here called Submit Grades. Go ahead and click that. And you'll see it's loading all of your information for Banner. And this is the new final grade submission page in Canvas. You'll notice that all of your students are listed, their student ID, the Banner number for your class. And then in this column here, you see two pieces of information. 100% tells you that all of the assignments have been graded on your grading sheet in Canvas. If any of these numbers are less than 100, that's an indication that you need to go back to your grading sheet and enter a grade for that student. The grade here is the final grade that appears again in your grading sheet in Canvas. And then this grade is the final grade that you actually want to submit into Banner. These grades are using the grading scheme that we selected at the beginning of this process. Also, you'll notice that those students that had a failing grade, I do need to go in and report the last day that they attended. You can see I've got a couple of those students here, so I'll have to go in, and the dates that I noted from the last step, I need to then go ahead and apply those dates here. So you can click on this, and for this student, I need to go in and it actually tells me the last logged in date, which aligns with what I saw in Canvas. So it will automatically fill that in, and you have the ability to go in and change that if you need it. You can click on here and it'll give you the calendar view, or you can go in and manually enter that in here if you need to. But since this date is exactly the same date as I recorded when I was back in my grade sheet, I'm just going to go ahead and use this Canvas last day. Okay, so go ahead and set that date, and you can see that that date is represented here. So I'll go ahead and do the other one. So I'm going to set that date. So I'm going to go through and make sure that everything lines up with the grades in my grading sheet. It's telling me that I have 2 changes that haven't been submitted. And so when you put these last day attended information in here, it will automatically give you check marks. So in order to submit these grades, you need to put a check mark in all of these boxes here. And you can check all of them by clicking this box up here, and you'll notice that all of the students' grades are checked now. Okay. There's a little friendly submit grades checklist up here that will tell you basically everything that we just walked through. And this is the grading key that is the default grading key that we set up at the beginning. Okay, so all of the grades are entered, all of the check boxes are checked. If you scroll down, don't let this throw you. These are W grades and these are drop grades. So obviously these are not going to appear in my roster. Okay, so I've selected everything. It shows me that I have 14 changes that haven't been submitted. So in order to submit those, I'm going to go ahead and scroll down and hit submit grades. This is the checklist that you saw before. Go ahead and submit grades. You'll see it takes a minute to get those grades submitted, and we get the green light that all 14 of those grades have been submitted. If I were you, I would suggest that you double check and make sure you go into Banner and just double check and make sure that these grades have in fact been submitted. You do that by going into My Sierra, go to the instructional faculty page, and you'll notice that there is a submit grades and hours here. So this is the new Banner page that allows you to go in and enter your final grades. As you can see, it looks a lot different than the old Banner page. You can actually sort by term, which makes it a little easier to find your grades. So I'm going to have to scroll through to fall of 2025 and find my IT 105 class, which is this one, this 673, fall 2025. I'm going to go ahead and click on that. And you'll notice as I scroll down that all of the grades that I entered in Canvas have in fact been updated in Banner. Okay, that's it for today. I hope that was helpful. Take care. Bye-bye.